Great. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, I'm after the classically trained singer. Awesome. Well, it's hard to get through. One of the things I'm noticing, a TEDxBethesdaWomen, without talking about balance or how busy we are and stuff like that, right? So that actually, conveniently enough, is the topic of my talk. And it's also something that in the Hot Mommas Project, I research a lot. So the Hot Mommas Project is about dynamic women and their stories. It's about mentors and role models, and we're the world's largest women's case study library. Because as we say, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So, balance. It's a big deal. It's like a quest for some of us. Sometimes it seems like the Holy Grail. It's kind of mythological. We've heard of it. But we haven't actually touched it or experienced it. Sometimes it can be kind of funny, right? Like a Monty Python movie. Run away, run away. Okay, see you later. No, really, okay, we're gonna talk about this today and really take it head on. And along the funny vein of balance, we all have those stories, right? Where, one time I had this board meeting I'm going to, and I just come from a meeting with a student that ran way over. So I teach women's entrepreneurship at GW, George Washington University, for those of you who don't follow all the massive Washington acronyms. And I'm zooming in, screech! My son is standing in the yard with my outfit like this, sort of fearing me, with good reason. I roll down the window, grab the outfit, thanks, sweetie, peel out, just a wonderful role model on all sorts of levels. I go to arrive at the parking lot where I will be meeting a couple of new Alzheimer's Association board members. I am the token non-head of a major department store chain and things like that. So I think I can't go in like this. And they could be in there already, right? So I'm looking around, and there's not a lot of cars in the parking lot. And I'm thinking, I've been doing my yoga, and okay, I'm gonna do this. So I kind of crunch down, and I start taking, and I put on the blouse, and I peek around, nobody's there. I mean, this is, and then I get the pants on, and I look around, nobody's there, and I'm like, all right, I did this, I got away with this. And I get out of the car, I put my coat on, I grab my bag, I make sure everything's kind of tucked, those fears, and I say, okay. And I walk into the building, and okay, security guard, he's smiling at me, and he's really friendly, And I'm thinking, all right, this day it's starting to turn around, right? And I'm signing in, and I look over, and not so much, because right there at his desk is a whole panel of closed circuit TV monitors, and they zoom. And I quickly avert my eyes and effective immediately repress, and I walk to the elevator bank and I just clutch my bag to me, and with that interesting mixture of horror and laughter that I think parents have perfected, and parents of interesting animals, I think to myself, balance. It's not working, and I need something stronger. So this is when I realized at the Hot Mommas Project, we really needed to up our game. Because women of all ages from all over the world, not just moms, we had students all the way up through boomers asking us, how do we do this? You guys are about confidence and mentorship, and we were like, So this is when we started looking into a brand new model. And these were people we started calling $1 million part-timers. million-dollar part-timers. Okay, so don't take the title too literally. I mean, yes, some of the people I've been interviewing, okay, they're doing great. I mean, they're making $1 million. But really, the idea behind this is totally asymmetrical value. They are taking the work-life model, they're like, ha ha ha, I laugh at balance, you know. They are controlling the model. They have got the reins. So what are they doing? They're creating big value, whether it's $1 million, whether it's a powerful high clout position, whether they are a leader in their community. You know, just think about it. I'm sure your brains are going right now. What is high value to you? What is that big value picture? And then over here is the part-time part of the $1 million part-time. Little time invested. So the numerator and the denominator here are like way off, right? On purpose. They're shifting that equation big time. And they are reclaiming back that extra time. And why is this so important? It's important because we're kind of playing a loser's game with balance. And here's why. We feel so crazy sometimes, right? Pursuing balance. We go to talk after talk. Some of us are here today to learn about balance and think we're going to do it better, right? And yet we go out and we look at the dog, you know, chasing the tail, and we're like, God, I really feel a bond with you. You know? And that's just not a good commentary on our lives, you know? And so, we're not totally nuts. Here's what's going on, okay? So at the project, we did research, and we asked all these women, hey, top balancers, what's the deal? You know, what are can you fill out these questions on this survey? And they said, this is the deal. We, who are the top exalted balancers, feel far and away more successful than our peers. So this is not about competition. It's about confidence. So, you know, reality's up here, right? You walk around with this attached to your body every day, hopefully, okay? And so this is your reality. They're winning that game. But, so we want that. We want that. We're pursuing that. It's almost kind of primal. We want to feel that sort of stability and that success. All right, so that's over here. So let's put that on the shelf for a second and realize the top balancers feel more successful. Okay, yay for them, okay. All right, now we're over here. I was reading the manuscript for Washington Post reporter Bridget Schulte's book called Overwhelmed. I'm guessing about 75% of the people in this room are going to wind up reading this book. All right, so what's a favorite group that everybody winds up looking at with balance? Right, it's moms, okay? Because they imagine, you know, kids hanging on pants and on the phone and picking up and this and just going crazy, right? So I picked out a statistic from this book for today. Moms today have less time than moms in the 60s. So any efficiencies that we might be getting through telework, flex work, our devices, and no, just forget it, it's not happening. So what we're trying to do is put more pieces on a smaller game board and then read some articles and go to some events and be like, why is this not working? You know, so here's the news flash. Stop trying, okay? Because the game board is smaller. We need a bigger game board, and we need fewer pieces, and that's what the everyday superheroes, that $1 million part-timers are doing. So I thought I'd introduce you to a couple of them today. And I've interviewed a bunch of them, men and women, because this is what we all want. But because it's TEDxWomen, I'm going to introduce you to 2 women today who I think are really standout models. All right, does this sound good? Okay. Number 1, Denise. Here are Denise's stats. Denise works 30 hours a week. Denise has a multi-million-dollar business. How the heck does she do this? right? And guess where she wants to be in the future? 10 hours a week. And she's going to do it. She's laid out the whole plan to me. So if there's a bumper sticker for Denise and other entrepreneurs who fit in the MDPT model, the $1 million part-time model, right? This asymmetric model, it's this: never again. So you know where you have an experience and it's so horrible? And you're like, I'm never doing that again, right? It might be Jägermeister, it might be a family holiday, whatever. So it was like that for Denise. So Denise used to work 80 hours a week. Denise also used to be married. Denise, when she started her business, had fantastic health. All right, so this is where stuff gets a little tough. We don't all have to learn the lesson this way, so please listen to what Denise went through. Denise is now divorced. Denise also had deteriorating health. And now we can sort of guess why she has 30 hours as her cap. When she's in a relationship now, guess what she says? I will never again sacrifice my personal life for my business. She's restored her health. She looks fantastic and feels fantastic. She leaves the office every day at 3 to go to the stables. That's her big hobby she's into now. She has reclaimed that time, listening to her day, her schedule. It's so inspirational. She's actually got this kind of Zen life, and she's got a multi-million-dollar business, but she's worked hard at it. It's not easy saying, you know what, now I'm going to be the center, and you guys and my business, it's going to revolve around me. That's a whole new kind of work. So that was number one, the never again philosophy, that bumper sticker. Here was number 2. Step back. Step back, right? You know those people who are all up in there? Right? I have a feeling, you don't show up at TEDxBethesdaWomen because you're an underachiever, right? I see a lot of people like, what are you talking about? So, Denise had to get from 80 hours to 30 hours. She needed to really step back, and how she did that was delegation. She has a right-hand man now in the business, a COO, and really had to coach up her staff on, Mommy's not here anymore, right? And you guys are going to be coached by me, and the COO is going to run day to day. That's an effort for any of you who are entrepreneurs, right? Amen. Then, last, there's so much more, right? I'm just giving you the top 3 to be nice and make like it's all simple, okay? Okay, then 3, planning. Planning, planning, planning. I just so can't compete with the last person, so that was like my little jingle. Take it or leave it, that's all I got. Okay, so if there could be a second religion for Denise, it would be planning. And they do annual plans, break it down to quarterly, break it down to monthly, break it down to weekly. This guides the team, this helps the COO, everybody knows what to delegate. This has actually got to 30 hours with a $1 million business, multi-million-dollar business, in fact. And this is how she's going to get to 10. So everybody's really clear. So in summarizing what's going on with Denise, we can see that this is so much more than business. This is like an extraction mission. And she extracted herself. And where she was before, honestly, I don't think she could find herself with a map in 2 hands. So this is really what life is about. This is a huge deal. Now, next, I want to introduce you to a totally different model. It's Carla. Carla runs a huge, very powerful project for a global NGO. So her stats are as follows. She has what normally you would assume is a full-time position, but she does it part-time from her home, and she dictates her schedule. How the heck did this happen? We can see the big value, right? The powerful high cloud position. And then we see the denominator there, part-time, and some other fun stuff in there in terms of her schedule and mapping that out. So the bumper sticker for Carla is live and breathe. She's in an organization where a position like this can live and breathe. A lot of us don't know organizations like this. Could even a bullet point of this type of job live and breathe? Think about it, something to think about. Number 2, network, network, network. We hear about this at events, we roll our eyes, maybe our kids hear about it in their classes, but the truth is, she's the poster child for networking. She was a federal prosecutor, federal, AKA US, and her husband got transferred to Europe. So she got on the horn. And somebody knew somebody who knew about this job. Networking worked. Then number 3, expertise. So Carla really put a stake in the ground. When she was a federal prosecutor, she was really into this passion area of hers. And that transferred over to this job. It drew people to her like a magnet. They were sending her stuff, hey, this article, this tweet, and eventually it became this job. She did not drown in the banality of generality. She drew people to her like a magnet. You know, it wasn't like if a consultant falls in the woods, did you hear it? Did it really happen? You know. Of course, we all know the answer to that, which is, you know, of course it happened. That's half a billable hour, you know. So, in summary, balance for some of us is not enough. We need to reclaim time. And if we put ourselves on the open market in a little economic ecosystem and gave money to those who value us most, who would be the highest bidders? Probably those right now who don't have the money or the voices. So when you think about reclaiming the time, it's really interesting cocktail conversation to think about that last model, your own little Monopoly game, and who would be your highest bidder, and reapportioning your time that way when you do work towards reclaiming your time. Thank you.